So on behalf of the Kuwait Dive Team, Guardians of the Sea, we would like to really thank you for the hospitality and the time to actually, just host us here and listen to us. I'm just going to very briefly give you an overview of our team and what we do I'm going to try my best in 5 minutes. Now in 5 minutes, I'm not going to be able to cover a lot of the things, but at least, give you a teaser of what we do, but also point you out to the resources and the information where you can find out more about what we do. So our vision recently in 2009 is when we sat down and said, okay, since 1986 when the team was established, and approximately every 5 years or so, we would have a strategic brainstorming meeting, and we would restate our mission and vision and values. And this year our vision states to contribute to the making of environmental awareness and nurturing the growth of volunteer spirit locally and globally. And I think this is one of the key points where we could both of us meet, because trying to encourage the spirit of volunteering. We have 4 core values, if you will, that we heavily rely on and promote. Team spirit is number 1. And that's, without teamwork, you really cannot do a thing. Seriousness. We are very professional in the work that we do, and we carry out projects that are very serious. And what we try to do is, a lot of the projects that you'll see, we take upon from initiative, and we try to help and supplement the local organizations' efforts, and also even some governmental agencies. So we get called upon, to do a lot of these projects as well. Voluntary work. Maybe here in this region, in Europe and North America, volunteering is not a foreign concept, and it's not in our regions and in Kuwait. But trying to encourage that and instill it and make sure that everybody understands and appreciates the concept of volunteering is really important. And then, last but not least, which is the core of what we do, is the marine environment protection. And we do that either directly or indirectly. So directly, by doing the work, to help and conserve the environment, and indirectly by encouraging and promoting, the concepts of conservation, the concepts of, protecting and rehabilitating the marine environment. So Kuwait is a very rich country when it comes to the coral reefs. So a lot of people in our regions drop anchor where the coral reefs are, and what they do is they damage these reefs while not realizing that they'll take a long time to survive. So we took upon ourselves the initiative to maintain and install 70+ buoys across all over Kuwait. In the main important coral reef areas. In this picture here, you see a diver with a jackhammer. So we actually go underwater and drill. When I first joined the team, I was telling them, no, you guys, you must be joking. This is not possible. But that's what we do. And so that's another picture of one of our divers installing the new buoy, and we're very proud of them. Another thing that we actively maintain and actively do is, actually monitoring the reef. So not only it's important to protect it, but also to monitor it, record data on the coral reefs. And as you're aware, we've been very active with Coral Watch. And me personally, when the bleaching happened in Kuwait very recently, it was very shocking, and I could appreciate, although I'm not necessarily an environmental expert, but I could appreciate just from my monitoring of the reef how bad and serious this was. Mr. Mahmoud Ishkanani, he's our coral expert, and it was very devastating. So it helps that we have that knowledge, that we have that culture, to maintain the environment. We protected, we monitored. Now, is that enough? We don't think so. We think also rehabilitation. So we've been very active in installing and maintaining coral propagation projects. This picture was very recent. Actually, in early 2010, we went to the Maldives and learned a technique for coral transplantation and coral propagation. And we've started this initiative actually in Kuwait. So we're very active in doing that trying to make sure that we propagate our coral as well. A lot of what we see also in Kuwait, that's very sad on the marine environment, but also very dangerous to the corals, the divers, and actually the boaters are fishing nets. And we're, the regular people call us up, sometimes even authorities, public authorities call us up and say, Kuwait dive team, there is a fishing net here, it's dangerous, it's on the coral, can you go ahead and remove it? And that's what we do. So you see a lot of marine creatures unfortunately dying and getting stuck in these fishing nets. It's a very, very sad reality. And a lot of people don't realize the harms of what they're doing. And recently, because of the fishing trends and overfishing, people have been realizing what the effects of these fishing nets have been on the environment as well. And just to give you, I don't know if any of you have been involved in lifting a fishing net. It's really heavy, it's really messy, and it's really smelly. But regardless, we do that, and we're very proud of doing it. And we go out and do that very gladly. So not only are we active in the, if you will, island areas or areas where you would think, that they have to be clean and beautiful all the time, but we're also involved in the coastal cleanups. And like I said, sometimes we don't even wait for somebody to tell us, hey, there's a problem there. As soon as we notice it, we are the people who take initiative and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and do that. So this is nearby a very famous mall in Kuwait, and that's also nearby the Royal Palace in Kuwait. And our team, gladly went and did this major operation. So yes, when you're talking about, lifting rubbish, there is definitely plenty of rubbish.